David Cole, we only have a few minutes left. I wanted to see if you could talk a little bit about the current situation with the battle with the Trump administration on immigration and on the reuniting of those children separated from the parents that they were taken from.
Well, we are trying to hold the Trump administration's feet to the fire, and we're in court in San Diego where we got an injunction a couple weeks ago saying you got to reunite the families within 30 days, all the families, within 14 days, the children under 5. When we were back in court in the last couple days, they didn't even have a list of the children under 5, and they were, unclear whether they knew, which kids related to which parents. The judge, fortunately, is really, holding their feet to the fire, and we're basically in there talking with him and with the government on a daily basis about, are they doing enough? And the answer is no, they're not, but they're being pressured by a court to do that.
So the judge granted them an extension today for the under 5s. There's 2 weeks, and all 3,000 kids have to be reunited.
Right.
They have given the names of the 102 kids. They've reunited, what, under 50? Today, all at once, those 50 will be reunited, and then what happens to the other 50? Well,
I mean, I think realistically, they have to get them reunited as quickly as possible. They will not meet the deadline of today, but what you do is you continue to press. They screwed this up from the beginning, and they're not putting in sufficient resources to respond in a fast and efficient way. I mean, these are kids who are suffering, and parents who are suffering, separated from their families, and the government is coming in and saying we can't. At one point, the government said I have to dog sit for my dog back home, so I can't come in here on the weekend to have an emergency hearing. I mean, the Trump administration needs to take this more seriously. We're doing everything we can. I think the American people, by coming out and protesting and speaking out as forcefully as they have helped tremendously. And I hope we can get the kids and the families reunited.
Do you take this as a done deal? Brett Kavanaugh will be the next Supreme Court Justice. No. Rachel Tiven.
No, not at all. Absolutely not. I think, first of all, look, this is a very, very closely divided Senate. Right, there are only a couple of votes need to shift for this nomination to be blocked, and when Senator McConnell has been so clear that when you're within, I don't know, a year of an election, right? I mean, this is at what point will Democrats and surely some Republicans call out the hypocrisy here? I mean, I think that people are worried for the future of their country, and bipartisan people are worried for the future of their country.
Well, and I think, look, if the 5 million people who marched the day after the inauguration called their United States senators with concern, I think this process would be slowed down, and I think people would actually take a really hard look at this nominee. And I agree, this should be delayed until after the midterm elections. This is, the only way this nomination is going to get through is if they try to simply jam it through. And I think, again, Mitch McConnell, if it was good enough to delay under President Obama, it's good enough to delay under President Trump.
David, your wife serves on the same federal court as Judge Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Any further comment?
No.
And finally, in the last 15 seconds, Fatima Gough-Graves, what are you going to be doing in these next months, the National Women's Law Center?
We're going all in. We believe that this is a fight that we can win. In the same way people counted out the ACA, we know that women will rise. They'll be making the calls. They'll be showing up at town halls, so people got to get ready.
We want to thank you all for being with us, and of course we'll continue to cover this process. David Cole, legal director of the ACLU, Cecile Richards, former head of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, Rachel Tiven, head of Lambda Legal Defense, and Fatima Gough-Graves with the National Women's Law Center. That does it for our broadcast. A very happy birthday to Laura Gottesdiener. Democracy Now! Is currently accepting applications for full-time news producer position in New York City. You can visit democracynow.org to learn more and apply today. Democracy Now! Produced by Mike Berger, Nate Feltz, Nina Nermeen Sheikh, Carla Wills, Sam Alcoff, John Hamilton, Laura Gottesdiener, Robbie Karen, Hani Massoud. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez. Thanks for joining us.